What's going on, guys? It's the Cowboy King of Entertainment. I'm back with another video. I'm here at one of my favorite places, the Regal, and it's gonna be epic. Coming to see Supergirl. So remember, I do 5 types of content: gaming, vlogging, podcast, movie reviews, and product reviews. And this video is gonna be epic. And now your mom knows. Oh man! All right, let's do it. Oh, look at that. Okay, it's kind of cool. Yep, that's real. Alright, guys, this is the best of both worlds. Cookie dough bites, but cookies and cream. But are we kidding me right now? What? Alright, got some popcorn and a Pepsi. Alright, guys, we're going to 4DX. It's gonna have all the works, so let's see how it is. Alright, guys, we gotta try it. Alright, guys, let's get into this review. Let's start with the 4DX. And the 4DX, well, let's start back up a little bit. So whenever you see 4DX, sometimes it's 3D or it's not 3D. So the 3D of this, I'm just gonna say it was poor. I feel like 3D just hasn't gotten any better. Like, I feel like when you're watching a movie, you got your 3D glasses on, you don't even notice anything in the foreground and background. It's just, you're just watching it like it's normal. So the 3D part of it was a non-factor. Now the 4DX of it, I feel like this wasn't the craziest 4DX. Like, it didn't have the smell, it didn't have the tickler. I never felt any of the punctures punk me in the back. I never felt any of the compressed air. So it was pretty basic as far as the 4DX experience. Like, if you went to see this movie, you would feel like you missed out on a lot of the 4DX experience. Actually, the seats really rocked a lot. Yeah, I mean, honestly, they had some smoke going on. Yeah, it really wasn't that crazy. Now, because it was Supergirl and there's a lot of flying and moving, yes, the seats moved a lot, but honestly, you're missing a lot more. Like, there was some scenes where you did feel the water splash, like rain on you. That was cool, but just think of how much more you were missing. So I gotta say that the 4DX for this movie was good, but as far as the 4DX experience, you missed too much. So for that, I'm gonna have to give it 1 out of 3 kicks. Yes. Alright, so let's get into the story. The story for me, I'm just gonna say how it is. I feel like the story was too fun. Now, you might say that's a weird way to describe it, but I feel like the story was pretty much Supergirl meeting this girl and trying to help her avenge her parents, and it was just kind of very kiddie-ish, and it was just a fun ride-along ride, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, it never felt it was true peril, it never felt it was true, like, you know, like a big deal. It just always felt very kiddie-ish and just very fun movie. And I felt like coming off the back of Superman, which was an amazing, great movie, and I think it was probably one of my best movie reviews to date, I felt like this just felt very short and the story just didn't do a great job as a movie. But the story was good as a Supergirl introduction to the DC universe. They did a great job with the backstory. Did a great job with character development. So it was a good coming out story for her being in the universe. But just the story itself, I was like, eh. So because it did, you know, not such a great job at, like, I felt like the first Supergirl movie, but it did a great job of being her first movie as far as explaining her. So I still will give it 2 out of 3 kicks. Yes. Alright, so let's get into my expectations. You know what? I didn't really care so much. I wasn't a big fan of Supergirl, and I love movies, but the trailer never really pulled me in. It just looked like, they're kind of making a flashy movie. So I went into it with my expectations was just like, you know, bare minimum. Like, look, I think it's going to be a great movie for 4DX, explosions, flying, it's going to be cool, but it didn't have that level of Superman to me. So based off of the trailers and what I actually got, man, oh man, I feel like it should have been a little bit better, to be honest. Like, I felt it was good, but I didn't think it was going to be as fun, kiddie-ish kind of like. And I'm not saying it was like super kiddie-ish. Like people definitely did, you know, die in the movie and stuff like that. But it just, the feeling of it was never like strong. Like, oh, this is going to be a strong movie. I felt like they just said, this is going to be a fun movie, and that's all you're going to take it for, is a fun movie. Especially with Lobo in there, you know, cracking jokes every 5 minutes. So that he was on screen anyway. So for this one, my expectations, I mean, I don't think it was that far off of my expectations. So I'll be fair. I will give it, you know, I don't know, man. You know what? It was just about what I guess I felt. I left there being like, it is what it is. I wasn't like, oh my God, it was great. And I wasn't like it was terrible. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3 kicks. All right, let's get into entertainment. And that's the cool part. It was highly entertaining. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. Yes, it wasn't going my way or the type of movie I wanted to be, but as far as cinematically being entertained, it was a lot of action. You know, she used her powers pretty good. It was good backstories about her and on Krypton. The little story with the little girl wasn't that bad. It was entertaining as a movie. You know, just, hey, give me some popcorn. I'm just watching this, eating it. Not much substance, but it was entertaining. So for that, I definitely want to give it the 2 out of 3 kicks. Okay, let me do that over. All right, so let's get into my 1 to 10 scale. It was a decent movie. I honestly didn't feel it did much for DC. You know, it introduced her, but I don't like, yes, I look at her as a strong, powerful character. I don't know, I just don't like the vibe of her, I guess. But, you know, to see her and Superman team up would be cool. You know, you see the trailer, they actually had him in the movie a good little bit, so that's going to be kind of cool. But of course they showed it in the trailer. But honestly, it didn't really do much for me, and I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like a throwaway movie for me. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. And I do think it is good to see in the trailer because it is very entertaining, a lot going on. But I don't feel it has a lot of substance to it, you know, so I will say that. But, you know, it's definitely a good popcorn flick, so I do recommend you do see it. But with that being said, thanks for watching. Remember, I do 5 types of content: gaming, vlogging, podcast, movie reviews, and product reviews. And now your mama knows. Oh, man!
I'll make you famous.
Because I'm a cowboy! Oh, man! Gaming, vlogging, podcast, movie reviews, product reviews. I've been vlogging my life since 2011. Every birthday, Christmas, Valentines Day is on this channel. Even my honeymoon in Mexico, swimming with sharks, and more. So whatever video brought you here, check out the playlist with that same type of content.
And now, your mama knows.